and welcome to Everyday Woman, the show that's about women, for women, and the issues that are important to us. Tonight we're doing a special election episode, and we're going to talk about the propositions. We call it conversation starters or open dialogue, and I want to jump right into it. Proposition 19, the legalization of marijuana. There has been a lot of talk about this. Natasha, I'm gonna let you go. Legalize or not legalize?
No, definitely not. Because why do you want to legalize something that's going to take people's ambition away? Not to mention it's a dangerous drug. It's a hallucinogenic.
So you think that if you legalize it, we're just going to give the world freedom to just do whatever they want to do?
Because a lot of people don't do drugs because it's illegal. And if you make it legal and more mainstream, it's going to get in the hands of children. It's just not good. And people don't need to be smoking
But what about money for the state? Because if it's legalized, then we can tax it and get more money. And also, all the people who get put in jail for utilizing marijuana, the state pays a lot of money to house them in jail and all the court costs and things of that nature. So if it was legalized, the state could save money that way.
Well, I doubt taxing marijuana is really going to solve any like money deficit.
Okay, well, let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about it. The proposition states that if anyone over the age of 21 could have and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase it, a portion of drugs for personal use, for transportation, for cultivation. One of the key topics out there is how is that going to affect the workplace? And one of our Facebook friends wrote in and said, you know, Stacey, I know that you're in human resources. Ask the panel, am I going to be working next to a forklift driver who's high?
Yes.
Right, and what can an employer do? What about that thought?
It would be the same as with alcohol. I mean, you don't want somebody on the job drinking, and marijuana would impair you the same way alcohol or any prescription drugs or anything of that sort would impair you. So there would just need to be rules set in place.
No, people who smoke a lot of marijuana perform completely different than people who drink. That is no.
So you're okay with somebody being drunk on the job?
No, I'm not okay with somebody being drunk. But what about how much we're going to have to pay in taxes to take care of all these people who get in car accidents?
Okay, all right, ladies.
After they decide to smoke some marijuana.
The critics are saying that their new type of weed or cannabis that they're growing that is not as potent. It's for therapeutic methods, and so it's not that high that we know back in the day, puff puff pass or the chronic. It's not that. Well, so it's more therapeutic. So how does that speak to that argument?
You can go to just about any doctor. They'll write you a prescription, and they're giving these young, strong people. I see all these young, strong people going into the Kush house and everything with their prescription.
Right, so that's
what kind of pain are they in?
Already, there's people who don't need it for any medicinal purpose, and they're using it, and they're abusing the privilege of having it for medicinal purposes. So since it's already being utilized by so many people, we might as well at least get the tax money from it.
Okay, Nataly.
It's going to give people the right to legally be high all day.
Legally be high all day,
like you can legally be drunk all day. There's nobody stopping you as long as you're not drinking and driving.
But the people who are in favor of the bill, they said, what's the problem? Literally, you have people who are alcoholics, you have people who are on prescription drugs, and what is the problem with a person being legally high all day?
Well, one of the good things I think also about legalizing it is then it can be regulated, because as it is now, some people will put other things in the marijuana, and then somebody is smoking something they don't know.
You don't need to put anything else in marijuana. It's bad enough.
But I mean, as it is in its natural state, it's a plant that naturally grows from the ground.
People do not need to be smoking marijuana.
Some people add other things, but if it was regulated, then it could just stay
We already have too much trouble
with
with people not watching their children and deciding to go smoke some weed, and then something happens to their kids get into an accident and they were high.
Natasha, that's a good point, because those that are opposing the bill are saying it's a public safety issue. Firefighter, police officers are saying, okay, now you have a school bus driver that cannot smoke 25 yards away from the building, but they can come on the bus high. It seems like it's sending a mixed message. So is it a public safety issue? Is it a personal issue? What's going on, and who decides?
Well, I don't think it would ever be okay for a school bus driver to be driving high in the same way it wouldn't be okay for them to be driving drunk.
Okay, but
you can breathalyze a drunk. How can you breathalyze someone that's been smoking pot all day and you can't? It's out of their system.
All right, so Nataly, what's your position? Yes or no?
I honestly think the pros and cons are there. There's good, there's bad in it. I really think that there's more bad than good.
Natasha?
I don't think it's going to take anyone out of jail.
No. You said that's strong. No. Okay, why?
Because
minutes,
it takes people's ambition away. They want you to smoke. No.
Okay.
It's horrible. It's a horrible drug.
Kristina?
Well, I say yes. I think the government should regulate it, get the taxes from it, and stop overcrowding the jails with people on marijuana and just, utilize that jail space for people who are committing more violent crimes.
Okay, so we have 2 no's and a yes. My position is, I'm kind of torn because I think that you can legalize, but I do think that there's some ramifications on it. So we're kind of split here, okay? So for those of you watching us today, we want to know your opinion. Log on to our website on everywaywoman.com. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk to 2 individuals, one who's a candidate for Congress and one who's a young Democrat. Stay tuned and join us after the break.